Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel and to this new video. Today, I have to present something really crunchy to you. I'm referring to her. Ducati Panigale V2 production year 2020. It has remained the same on the market since that year. You see it here in my garage, not because I've become the owner of a Ducati Panigale V2, even though it would actually make me a bit happy, but because today with it, the tuned up project officially begins. What is tuned up? It's the new project, the new format that I thought of bringing to you week by week in episodes for the course of 2023.
As long as I have bikes available to work on.
The bikes you will see in this series, first of all, will be those of my group of friends.
And maybe then, if things take off,
If the projects, the results you see on the channel please you, we might even extend it to some of you. When I talk about processing, however, I'm not just referring to the performance of the engine or the bike on the road or track, but I'm also referring to a graphic processing. In fact, the most stock, most original possible bikes that I will have in my hands will be stripped of their fairings, which will be customized by Giulio Design and the skilled hands of Roberto from a moto garage. As for performance and the installation of various accessories, I say various accessories because there are several brands that have joined this project, and so we will see some nice things. However, the choices of customization and modification will not be exclusively mine, 100%, because as I told you, the bikes are not mine, they are my friends. So let's introduce the owner of this first bike, who is Mr. Giacomo Giacomo. Good morning!
Good morning, guys.
Which is a relative good morning. The time you watch the video depends on your location. For us, it's evening, but for you, it could be day or noon.
Well, but we don't talk. It's not important. Now, anyway.
Giacomo, we're here because your wonderful little girl needs some touch-ups, because we have an exaggerated handle, and the bike we have underneath is not enough. Absolutely. No, this is not the case with Giacomo. It's simply a customization. The YouTuber friend who collaborates with various houses to take advantage of lower parts costs. But leaving this aside, the fundamental use, what are you going to do with this panicle? What is it? So let's start for a moment to talk exactly and try to understand how to direct the project.
So for this bike, I intend to do 70% track, 30% road.
Okay, so more of a perfect racing use. As for the components that you already have on it, so the stock ones, what do you want to focus on? Perhaps you could tell me, no, look, if he actually gets his hands on it, one thing I wouldn't give up, maybe it could be this component.
I definitely prefer to have a brake pump worthy of the name.
More powerful, okay?
And a modification at the suspension level.
Okay, so with you indicate the previous shows, which are the original forks indeed of the Panigale 5.2. So these are the two substantial changes you would make. We won't stop here. Here's a little spoiler, a preview. You'll be leaving the bike with me for around a month and a half to 2 months. If we behave well, and if everything goes smoothly, you will see the bike fundamentally changed. Because as I was telling them a little while ago, there will not only be an upgrade in terms of performance, so in terms of parts of components, but also in terms of graphics. Do you have any preferences about the graphics? We don't care, in fact, because I will do it anyway, to my liking. So all the comments we will receive under the reveal, your reaction will then be because of me, Mia. I take responsibility for my tasks and Giulio's, who will advise us on the project. Yeah, I have some crazy idea in mind. I take the keys of Giacomo's Panigale 5.2, and before putting it under the iron and the wise hands of Roberto from Moto Garage, I want to hit the road with her and do a nice test ride. So here we are. There couldn't have been a different start other than the gas station, because good old Giacomo clearly left it on reserve for me. We are with a small group of guys who follow me on my Instagram page. Green Arrow Point 19, where I had a group Sunday outing. Davide is at the end of the line, he's here too. And in this test ride, in addition to trying out this Panigale 5.2 to see how it behaves, let's also see what those flaws might be that it carries from Bologna from the factory exit. And above all, let's understand how they can be resolved, where intervention is needed and why it is needed. Starting from the basic assumption that, in my opinion, the motorcycle is fine for 99% of buyers. As it is basically, among some measures that I will tell you during this video, fundamentally, as I was saying, there is practically nothing to do with it. However, Giacomo pointed out to me the suspensions and brake pump, which are still suspensions of a certain prestige. Because we have multi-adjustable Showa, both in compression and in extension, as well as in preload. And it has the 18 Brembo pump that comes standard with the bike. Let's start then with the driving comfort. How long has it been since I said it? Enough comfort, guys. For being a sports soul, I can say not bad. The handlebar's quite open already. As standard, maybe Giacomo for track use will have opened them slightly more. But I must say, as they are set up, very comfortable position. Footrests that create an excellent triangle between the buttocks, knee, and foot, so they are set back just right. Truly exceptional tank, beautiful, narrow in the part between the thighs, and this allows us to well gird the tank. To apply good pressure, to be able to grip it well when leaning, which is not a given on a super sports bike, guys. The only flaw at the tank level is the fact that, for example, this beautiful Panigale red paint is very slippery. So whether with a suit or jeans, especially with urban clothing, it's so slippery you can't do anything at all. When braking, the grip on the tank is inevitable. Even though the seat has good grip, when you pull hard, you move forward. So this is one of the first things I would mark on the to-do list. The footrests, although they are correctly retracted, therefore placed in an excellent position, for example, have footrests that do not have grip. So here too, the footrests need to be replaced with better ones. In terms of hands, however, as I was saying, the position is comfortable, the shoulders are well loaded, with the head in front, and in general, the drivability is really good. I must say that the motorcycle from the first curves, however, gives me a great feeling, a great maneuverability. And once it's leaned over, it stays there. You tell us that obviously one thing is the road, another thing is the track, where the stress is, and the stress that the various parts undergo is clearly greater. However, it's incredible how much the Panigale gives you an incredible feeling, and you're immediately a rider. I mean, making these two turns with her, I don't know. It felt like I was doing TT. It's incredible. It gives you a trust, a feeling, a confidence. Call it what you want, that are hardly found in other bikes. In the changes of direction, it's really very precise. Even though the tires are not exactly fresh, because they've already done some laps on the track. These Michelin Power GPs are really great, as usual, by the way. My goodness, look at it. A blade, really a scalpel. Another thing that can be improved after these first few curves is definitely the aerodynamic protection. As beautiful as the windscreen may be, which is really perfectly embedded between the red horns of this Panigale, unfortunately the wind protection is not the best. We can do better, so we also add this to the list of things to do. Also, because it's one thing to go 100 kilometers on a Sunday outing, it's another thing to be at 250 on the Mugello Strait. So let's remember that Giacomo will use it 80% of the time on the track, so I'm sure it's an upgrade he will like. And after talking about comfort, I would say let's open the engine topic. How does this new generation Ducati twin-cylinder behave? Let's find out together. Let's see how it goes on the Italia Cozzo direction variant. An important thing to say is that I personally have never had a good relationship with the twin cylinder simply because of the driving style. That is, for me, the twin cylinder, at least the old one. The Desmo was a twin cylinder that necessarily, due to its shape and engine characteristics, always had to be a bit on edge. So, if you wanted to take a hairpin turn, a more relaxed curve, the bike wouldn't allow it because even at very low gears, it gave you that particular jolt. No, that hiccup, which in my opinion is annoying. In addition to this, on some models, the throttle response was not optimal, and there was often an on-off effect. What should I say about this 5.2? Not to be there then. But let's move on, guys, so that we can also catch up with them and we can have a bit of a brawl. Here it is, a bit of fun. Let's move on. All these big Ducatis, these super sharp engines.
Whoever feels it, feels it. Here we are in Fricona, and we line up with good David and go play. As I was saying, the gas response is really good. There are no on-offs. The engine pulls everything very well. The gears go in well. The transmission is smooth. We are currently in Sport Map. We also have others available. Race Wet, in short, the usual ones. All customizable in terms of quick shifter, engine brake, motor brake, acceleration, throttle response. It doesn't have a lot of torque, I have to be honest.
Well, clearly it has to be compared to an engine that is not 1,000. The 5.2 runs the Super Sport 600.
To make you understand though, it's not bad at all how much white on the ground puts a bit of awe. I have to be honest though, the bike responds really well as long as the sun is out.
I fear nothing. Here, I'm scared shitless. Only this is the bastard humidity. Understand? The humidity you don't expect?
And here we are, arrived from how long it's been since I came here. Tagliacozzo remains one of the most beautiful roads we have here in Lazio.
Gloves that have protected me very well, even though I'm a bit cold at the tips.
It's a shame not to have heated grips on this Panigale. Lunch is over and we're back on the move.
As a group, we decided after a brief meeting and a general brainstorm that it wasn't worth continuing to Ovendoli, which was our original destination this morning.
In fact, even though the temperatures aren't extremely low, the road and shaded areas can still hold some surprises.
So for us, the journey back to Rome begins, and this also marks the end of the first episode of the Tuned Up series. Let me know clearly below in the comments what you think of this new format.
Support it with a nice like, leave a nice comment below, and share the video.
Then subscribe to the channel by clicking the red button and activate the bell so you don't miss the notifications of the releases of new videos always here on the channel.
All that's left for me to do is to take some curves together with good Davide and still enjoy this Panigale 5.2 series from Green Arrow.
So that's all. We'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.